meeting of the Jackson City Council here at New Hope Missionary Baptist Church. As we open, I would like for Deacon Robert Patterson to open us up in our invocation, and after which we will have our greetings from the Honorable Pastor, Dr. Jerry Young. Would we please stand?
Let us bow for a word of prayer. Our Father, our most high and heavenly God, the Father of our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. Father, we praise your holy and righteous name, for you alone are worthy of praise, honor, and glory. And Father, as we come this evening to this special council meeting, Father, we ask your blessings on our mayor, all of our city leaders, all of our elected and appointed officials for the city of Jackson. And then, Father, we ask a blessing on all those persons who gathered together this evening. We've asked that you would just guard and guide our hearts, Father, that all we say and do will bring honor and glory to your name, and that all we do will serve to forge Jackson to be a much better city. Father, we thank you for all you do, and we ask that you would just continually guard, guide, and protect us. In Jesus Christ's name we pray. Amen.
Ladies and gentlemen, please give a hand for Dr. Jerry Young.
Thank you very much, Councilman Banks and all of the members of the City Council here in our city, and all of the other persons who work in the context of our city, and those of you who've come to be a part of this special meeting. I am so delighted and privileged to have you come here to New Hope Baptist Church. We welcome you here, and we only wish it had not stormed. I've discovered, however, that most of the people in the city are Baptist. Most of them are just Baptist. They can't get wet but once. They don't mind getting baptized, but after that it's over. And I know some very, very special people who said, I was coming, but it's raining. And I said, basically, but it's not raining in the sanctuary. But we thank those of you who have come. We thank you for being here. And we hope to have a very fruitful meeting tonight. And just a matter of housekeeping, we want to make sure that whatever we do and say in the context of the sanctuary is God-honoring. That means we want to ask our questions. We want to be able to get answers to our questions, but I'm going to be the referee. And if I stand up here at the podium, that means that, it's time for you to, allow someone else to speak. Something like that. All right, to make sure that, but now I do want all of the questions answered. Are we going to have questions tonight?
Yes, sir. We have 4 public comments.
Okay.
Questions will come from the deacon.
Okay, that kind of thing. So we want to make sure, because we are concerned about our city. I said we are concerned about our city. We are really concerned about our city. And we want to make sure, and I say this, and this is not a sermon, so I don't want anybody to think that I'm getting ready to preach something. But there is a verse that says, righteousness exalts a nation.
Yes, sir.
But sin is a reproach to any people. That's in the Word of God. And we want to make sure that we move in that vein tonight. Thank you again for being here. Welcome to New Hope Baptist. And delighted to have all of the council persons here. Thank you all for coming, along with the executive assistant, Chief Administrative Officer. And I want to tell you all, now he's the Chief Administrative Officer. He's the Chief Administrative Officer. For the city of Jackson. All right. Hey, thank you all so very much. Delighted. Thank you again.
All right. Thank you. Let's give another hand for Dr. Young and appreciate him. At this time, since we are in Ward 2, I would like to yield to my colleague, Vice President Angela Lee, to welcome us to Ward 2.
Well, thank Thank you, Mr. President. I'd like to first thank Dr. Jerry Young for opening up the sanctuary of New Hope Baptist Church for all of us to attend and be a part of government in action. I would also like to thank all of the Ward 2 constituents for coming out in this weather. And for those of you who don't have the luxury of living in Ward 2, welcome to Ward 2.
Thank you. At this time, we will do special recognitions. I will start. First, I want to just acknowledge longtime city engineer, somebody that knows everything about the water department. Mr. Mark Young is here. Let's give him a hand. This
Mark
Wise.
Wise,
Ward 2. Mr. Mark Wise is here. Y'all give him a hand. Lord have mercy. I'm thinking about Dr. Young. He's here. And then also, ladies and gentlemen, when I was a freshman at Jackson State University, and in June I started a journey at Jackson State University with the Sonic Boom of the South from legally qualify as a quorum. Colleagues, we're going to go ahead and we're going to start with our public comments at this time. Our public comments are limited to 3 minutes. There is someone that will be holding a sign over here. Shanikia, Clerk Jordan will be holding a sign. The red sign, of course, means stop, and then the yellow sign will mean that you have 30 seconds. Please help us abide by our rules, and I don't want Dr. Young to pull your coattail to Baptist. All right. So first, we will start with Gloria Jenkins, and she is speaking about agenda item Eubanks Creek. Ms. Gloria Jenkins, are you here? Ms. Gloria Jenkins, are you here? All right. Next we have Brenda Brown. Brenda Brown, are you here? Brenda Brown, are you here? All right. Next we have Ms. Thea Faulkner, water charge. Yes, right here. Thank you so much.
Great evening, everyone. I want to make it clear I am here speaking on behalf of the Faulkner household only. Okay. I have been a resident of Jackson for 19 years. I am a proud resident of Jackson, Mississippi. I am a homeowner and a taxpayer. I do not mind paying for anything I receive. My water bill averages around $14 a month when you look at the charge for water usage. But my bill is nearly $100. There's a water availability charge that's $40. I don't mind paying to contribute toward that water availability, but when the water availability charge is 300% of what I'm being charged for water usage, that's egregious. And I'm asking the City Council to look at that. Thank you.
Thank you so much, and we Yes, sir. Councilman Stokes.
Thank you. Mr. President, has she talked to Jackson Water at all? And the reason I ask, because we have a number of citizens complaining about this water situation.
Yes, sir.
$1,000 water bills and those kind of things. And the problem we're running into is because the city's out of the water business, it's not too much that we can control and do. But I think that one of the major problems that they're running into is that they can't talk to anyone. They call a number, and when they call the number, they don't really talk to them, and then everyone get the same answer. You got a leak. And then they send people out, plumbers, they check and there's no leak. So somewhere down the line, I think that Jackson Water need to monthly come and address the city council. It's time for us to go to court. Hope the legal department is listening so we can represent these citizens because they feel like there's no justice. It's just us. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Stokes. Yes, sir. I agree. I think the most important thing is moments like this, Ms. Faulkner had an opportunity to speak on record, but then also I would encourage to email your council member and email your council member. That is also an official record that we can use when we get to that place. Dr. Wright.
Yes, thank you, Mr. President. Louis Wright, Chief Administrative Officer. The mayor is scheduling a town hall meeting in the very near future specifically to talk about water bills. And he will address those concerns and probably have somebody from Jackson Water here as well. Not here, but at that town hall. But there will be scheduled a town hall meeting to discuss specifically water bills.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Wright. Next we have Lloyd Goodlow, Cave-In on Street, Hallmark Drive. Yes, sir.
Good evening, Council. My name is Lloyd Goodlow. I am a employee of the city. I work with the IT and telecommunications, but I'm here as a constituent of Ward 2. On my street, we have about 3 cave-ins and seepholes. They have been reported, and they did come out, and they looked in the sewer lines, and they didn't find anything wrong. But the cave-ins are still continuing to get bigger and bigger, especially when we have these downpours. So I'm just concerned that it's going to cause the street to collapse eventually. So I'm just trying to see, just wanted to let the council know this serious issue that's going on my street.
Thank you so much. All right. Next we will have
Mr. President,
yes.
let me just,
Go ahead.
Mr. Gray is here with Constituent Services. If you'll make sure you see Mr. Gray, will you raise your hand?
Yeah, I've already talked to them.
Okay.
I've spoken to them, and they did come out.
Okay.
And they did check the sewer lines, but the sinkholes are still expanding, and it started to swallow the orange barrels that they.
We'll take a look at it.
Thank you.
All right. Next we have Dr. Louis Liddell. Yes, sir.
My wife over there had a week that's good out there, socks on, and a shirt, and when I come through my hair, I hope I don't look too bad. Good evening, people. Good evening. Council, I thought the mayor said too, ain't been there a long time. But look, I am a native of Jackson, Mississippi. Tell you, this is gonna make this real quick. My parents came here, people came here in 1877. They were slaves. They took the slave owners, moved them to Mississippi, and the slave owner paid them by giving them land in Hines County, down in Utica and Learning, Mississippi. My mother and father moved to Jackson in 1944. My mother was pregnant with me. So I'm the 7th child of 10, the first one born in Jackson. I am a son of Jackson, Mississippi. I know a whole lot about Jackson, Mississippi. A lot of it. I'm also a veteran of the Civil Rights Movement at Jackson, Mississippi. My family was. And my sister was an international and national known person in the Civil Rights Movement. But today, I'm calling, talk about, I'm going to make it as brief as possible, about the cemetery. My niece, who's a writer, came from New York City to do some work in Jackson. And she wanted to go to the cemetery, Willow Park. I'm 6'3". The grass came into my knees. It's terrible. Then it was an embarrassing terrible. My mother was a very progressive person. She had a big tombstone made for her and my father about 5 years before my father died. And on that tombstone, all 10 of their children's names on there. 8 boys and 2 girls. It's on 7 of them left now. And then it was terrible. So I went down to Terry, to my mother's old church, and my grandparents' grave, Christine. Everything in order. Then I went to Mount Wayne, which my great uncle found me. Everything in order. My granddad and grandmother, everything in order. It's embarrassing that what's happening in Jackson. It's terrible. It's absolutely ridiculous. Excuses are unacceptable. I remember growing up in Jackson. I lived out there off of College Road, on the other end of Bishop and Bailey. We used to walk the creek bank, and you could do it. It was cut. Now, when a crocodile probably gets out there now, it is terrible. We don't need no excuses. I want to say this, and look at, when I was a young teenager, 17, 18 years old, going to jail, get battered around, we were doing this for a better Jackson. We're doing it for a better Jackson. I'm going to say this here real quickly. It's this hard thing to say, but democracy demands that you can't do the job, give it up. Democracy demands that, and let somebody else try. And if they can't do it, give it up, and somebody else try. And eventually get the job done. And I want to thank Councilman Banks for giving me the opportunity, not being on the roster. I went out of town. They told me, oh, you've been moved. Thank you very much. And an opportunity to speak to the citizens of Jackson. All I want to do is Jackson get better. That's all I want. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you, Dr. Liddell.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Thank you very much, Dr. Liddell. Willow Park, Cedar Lawn Cemetery are both in my ward. They need a plan. And I reach out to Mr. Lewis Wright, the CAO, right now, and asking him, Mr. Wright, what is the plan for regular maintenance of these cemeteries? Last month, I was out at Cedar Lawn with a weed eater, me and some more folks in the community. It touches you in a special way when you know you have your grandparents and your parents and ancestors buried there, and the weeds are 3 or 4 feet high. We can't live that like that's not us. That's not who we are, and that's not who we should be. We have to elevate this to a priority, and I'm asking right now, the executive branch, Mr. Wright, please make sure Public Works or Parks or whoever has it, make sure they have a regular plan of maintenance. And if there are any problems, any obstacles, work them out. Yeah. Because it just touches you in a special way when your folks are out there buried, and this is the way we honor them. And so I ask for the executive branch, mayor, directors, etc., to let's just get it done. Let's stop this. Let's just get it done.
All right, thank you, Mr. Harvey. Vice President Lee.
I would like the council to know that after viewing a Facebook Live video of Cedar Lawn Cemetery and just being utterly disgusted, I did reach out to our solid waste department and spoke with Ms. Weathers, and I think we as a council might need to look at other options, maybe moving it back to Parks and Rec because they have the equipment and the manpower. It looks like our solid waste team just doesn't have the ability for the capacity of these cemeteries. So I think at some point that might be something that we're going to have to look at and address.
Yeah, no, Vice President Lee, I agree. I think for the immediate resolve, if the administration can look at presenting some contracts, so we can get it done as quick as possible. Mr. Wright.
Yes, Mr. President and Council, and to the citizens, we're apologize for the way the cemeteries are looking. We are looking at a plan to address that with contractors. Ms. Weathers, who is over solid waste, as well as Mr. Mohammed over Parks and Recs, are putting together a plan that will be presented to the administration so that we can address that on a regular basis in terms of upkeep of our cemeteries, the upkeep of our right-of-ways and entrance points into the city. So that is being addressed.
Yes, sir. Councilman Stokes. Thank you.
Mr. President, we placed this item on the agenda because of Ms. Gladys Stewart from the Stewart family. People's Funeral Home called, and she's here and she's going to speak on this same issue. It's one that's sad because Mother's Day, people trying to go and visit their loved ones, find a resting place, and grass so high till you can't even really. You're right, can't find a tombstone and other issues. I'm hoping we could, I don't know if the word privatize we want to use, Mr. Wright, but we have a lot of lawn services out in this city that could get on this problem pronto. We don't want to drag it out until we in the fall and winter of the year, and we won't need grass cutting. We need to try to treat this as an emergency, and let's try to find some people who might have the manpower that they can start cutting some of this grass like tomorrow. Thank you.
All right, Mr. Wright, did you have something?
Well, I have Ms. Weathers here as well. We can take Ms. Okay, let's let Ms. Weathers address it out.
Hold on, Ms. Stewart. Councilwoman Lindsay.
Yes, thank you, Mr. President. I didn't hear this cemetery mentioned, but Greenwood is also in dire need of attention. I drove through there the other day, and it's in really bad shape as well. Thank you.
All right. Clerk, if we would let the record reflect that item 46 is being handled now.
Mr.
On the floor is discussion. Yes, Vice President Lee.
I would also like to mention the Jim Hill Cemetery and make sure that's uplifted as well.
That's what he did.
All right. Clerk, make sure we're taking notes of those cemeteries. All right. At this time, Ms. Gladys Stewart.
Yes. The cemetery I'm talking about is behind Mary C. Jones. It's Elmwood. And I went there on Mother's Day to visit my family. And the grass was up to my knees. I made it over to my mother's grave, but I could not make it to my grandparents because it was up to my waist. I've been here all my life, and we, funeral home people, we always visit our people on every occasion, and I know everybody in here got a mama and a daddy and grandparents. And you might work and do everything, but on those 2 days, you definitely go to the cemetery and pay your respects. Respect. I don't know how fast y'all can get it done, but Father's Day is right around the corner. And I'm gonna make an effort to get over there. You know, the sad part about cemeteries, you have snakes. I can only go so far. So I would appreciate if somebody would come and cut that grass. I have the same situation in my neighborhood. I stay downtown Jackson. I'm the only one really on that block. I might have 2 neighbors, but every lot is at least 6 feet tall. Every lot is 6 feet tall. When I call and put it in to come and cut the grass, oh, what's the address? I give them the property number. No, we need the address. The house torn down. What can I give them? Y'all had 311 online where I could put it in. I guess I was putting in too many because y'all took that down. So, what else can I do? I don't want to move out of Jackson, but y'all trying to push me out. So I appreciate any kind of help you can give. And I think that it's not just my neighborhood. When I ride around, all making lunch that's grown up, take a bulldozer and turn the dirt over. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Clerk, for the record, that was Ms. Gladys Stewart. All right, next we have, and last we have, Mr. James Hopkins.
How's everyone doing tonight? I just want to say glory be to God. Thank you for allowing us to be here tonight. I'm here for the same issue about the cemetery, and that video that Councilwoman Lee speaks of is one that I posted, and I want to thank her for inviting me out to speak tonight. And Councilman Harley, I understand you've been doing some stuff today too to try to get the ball rolling. I want to thank you for that also. But we take care of our loved ones their entire lives. And when they leave here, if you're not cremating them, there's only one place they're going to go. They're going to go to somebody's cemetery. We pay for those cemeteries to be kept up. It's a simple job. From the responses I've been getting, and I've gotten over 1,000 responses, and I didn't realize that so many people were going through it at so many other cemeteries. I went out there today with a weed eater, and I had to do what had to be done myself. But the problem I have with that, if I have to do it, I will. But there are funds that are appropriated to keep stuff like this out. If those funds aren't being appropriated, where are they? And are the people who are getting those funds willing to take that money they got and come out and cut these cemeteries? I was told that there was a 3 to 5 member crew. We know 3 to 5 people cannot handle 5 cemeteries. They couldn't even cut that one cemetery. This is one on Capitol Street. You can't cut that in a week. So we know you're not going to be able to cut 5. If the city or whoever is over there, I'm not blaming the workers because you can only do what you can do. But we have to take a short-term solution to fix a long-term problem. Like Councilman said, if we have to hire someone to come in just to get it, back in order, let's do it. If you have to pay some overtime and pull people from other departments, let's do it. It's an embarrassment, it's disrespectful, and it's hurtful to know that I can't go out to my mother's grave or my wife's grave without bringing a weed eater. It's sad. And like I said, I don't know who's responsible, but whoever it is, there are no excuses that are good enough for those cemeteries to look the way that they look. And as a city, we should be ashamed and we should be determined to do better. And that's all I have to say. Thank y'all.
All right. Thank you. That concludes our public comments. At this time, Clerk, we will move to consent agenda.
You don't want Weathers to speak?
I'm sorry.
Yeah, Ms. Weathers.
Did you want to address? Yes. Sorry. I thought you would have been at the podium by now.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Lakeisha Weathers. I am the solid waste manager. I will not stand up here and give you all excuses, but I will give you some facts. It is true, we do have a 3-man staff. Absolutely no way for 3 people to cut 6 cemeteries in the city of Jackson. We have at least 3 cemeteries that hold water. It's difficult, as you all may know, to cut grass when it's wet. And I say hold water, where that water sits there for 2 to 3 weeks. We have burnt up 6 weed eaters trying to cut the wet grass or the areas where the water is sitting. Not trying to give you all excuses, I'm just trying to explain to y'all where we are. I have provided Mr. Wright with a plan. The plan is to bring in a contractor because we do not have the manpower or the equipment to keep up with the cutting needs of these cemeteries. We have spoken to a contractor today who has offered, who is donated in-kind services to the city, and they're gonna come out and completely cut cedar lawn. We're going to see if we can get them to do 1 or 2 others, but they're definitely going to do Cedar Lawn. I think we're going to start that next week once I speak with Mr. Wright on the date that we can start that. And they're going to fully cut that facility. The front, the back, the entrance, everything will be cut at that facility. Now, as we know, when it rains, that grass is going to grow back within a week, right? So the plan, in speaking with legal and Mr. Wright, is to bring in a contractor for at least 2 months. Going into the next fiscal year, then we'll see how we can address that going forward. But right now, we're going to bring in someone to help us with that. Yes. Yes, ma'am. We have to get those removed. Yes, ma'am. We're working on that. So we know all of the issues. We got you. And we understand your frustrations and your concerns. My mother is deceased. When I go to my mother's grave and I see ant beds around her grave, I'm hot. I'm fussing, but I go and I take care of it, right? Because that's my mother. And I do understand the frustrations when you go out there and your loved ones' headstones look the way that they look. We see it too. And trust me, we don't like it either. We're not happy about it. We're not happy about the appearance either. So please don't think that your concerns are falling on deaf ears. We hear you. We are coming up with solutions, and we're addressing it as quickly as we possibly can. I don't know her name, but the resident that spoke about Father's Day, we're going to do our best to get as many of these facilities cut before Father's Day, okay? Now, that means we're going to pull people from other areas, right? Because we are extremely short-staffed when it comes to right-of-way and cemeteries. However, we're going to do our best to address your concerns. But Cedar Lawn will be cut by this contract. Any other questions before I step off? If you need to speak to me further, I'm not going anywhere. You can meet me in the back if you want to discuss this in more detail. If you want more information, I will be as transparent as I possibly can. I'll provide you with my contact information. If you need to call me and speak to me directly, just call me. Councilwoman Lee will tell you I always answer my phone. So just call me if you have those concerns, and we'll do our best to address it. I also have 2 of my supervisors here with me who work with right-of-way cemeteries, so they can address your concerns as well. Now, I'm not going to tell you something. If I can't do it, I'm not going to tell you that I can. I will tell you that we're doing our best, that we are working on it, and we're working as quickly as we possibly can to address all of your concerns. Okay? Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, Councilman Hartley, and then Chief Justice. Councilman Hartley.
Yes, I did have a question, Ms. Weathers. If you could you provide the telephone, your telephone number? You had invited people to call you, and also the mayor's action line. That number is 601-960-1111. So folks can call there as well. But one of my questions is this Willow Park. I've been drive by both of these places. Willow Park is in bad shape.
Well,
and what I would love to have is a schedule. As you develop and as we go forward and hire these crews, maybe you can share a schedule with the council. Thank you.
If we can get staffing in to be able to provide that, right now I cannot provide you a schedule for cutting for right-of-way or cemeteries because the need is so grand. It is going to be impossible to give you a schedule. All I can say is that we are addressing them based on the greatest need and concern in that moment. The cemetery that you just spoke about, that is one of those facilities that does hold water. The staff goes out and they cut it the best that they can. As I stated, we burned up several weed eaters trying to keep that place cut with weed eaters because they don't have one more. So we're working on that. We're working on the equipment. Mr. Wright has our information. As I stated, we're going to address that in the upcoming budget year. But if we can get these other people in to assist us with all of that cutting that has the proper equipment, that's what we're working on. That's what we're working towards. But the number that you can reach us at in the office is 601-960-1193. Again, my name is Lakeisha Weathers. Just ask to speak to me directly. For those individuals in the room, I have cards that I can provide you with if you would like that information, with my email as well. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Ms. Weathers. Could someone from the administration please provide the council with a memo? It was my understanding during budget that when we moved ROW, we moved cutting, when we moved all of this over to Public Works, that the equipment and the staff was supposed to go along with it. So if someone would just provide a memo, provide a memo in writing to just explain that. Mayor?
Yes, we can certainly provide that memo. First and foremost, greetings to everyone. I apologize for my tardiness. I had some other matters I had to attend to prior to this. But not only can we send that memo, we realign the responsibility. And there still is cutting responsibility that lies with the Parks and Recreation Division. And so that there lies the confusion between how they not only split the division of needing to cut different things and therefore the equipment. As she stated, that is something that we're trying to address in the next budget season, and that will be a primary concern. And I heard that she made mention of the intent to provide contracts to individual contractors to offset or to mitigate the need. We intend to bring that very shortly, which will not only address the concerns of community, but it will be, in essence, some bit of economic development for our community, so that some of our landscapers around the city have some ability to build their particular businesses. And so there's a big enough need that it should go to a number of contractors.
All right, thank you. Councilman Stokes?
Thank you, Mr. President. I want to thank Ms. Stewart for caring enough about this city to call. You know, a number of people have begun to just leave. The Stewart family are pioneers in Jackson, part of the People's Funeral Home family. And again, we put the item on the agenda so that she could speak concerning the cemeteries, and others have also joined in about the cemeteries and the right-of-ways. And I think it's a win-win somewhere where the city will get on top of this problem. And again, she said Father's Day is right around the corner. But to Ms. Stewart, thank you so much. Keep fighting for Jackson. Thank you, Mr. President.
All right, thank you. Councilman Brazil?
Thank you, Mr. President. Colleagues, you know, when my great-grandmother is in Cedar Lawn. And so when I think about cemeteries and visit other places that have city-owned and operated cemeteries, we don't, the way they look here are not how they look in other places. And so as we go into budget talks in the next couple of months, maybe Mayor, Mr. Wright, if we can get some type of breakdown or a contract annually for all of our cemeteries. And I say that because these are not only parks, because the cemeteries are part of our parks, but these are also sacred spaces that people oftentimes visit, not only visit their deceased relatives, but also go just for peace. And I think, you know, we talk about cutting grass, but these are spaces that need to be manicured. They need to be landscaped. You know, add some mulch, plant some trees. And I think that if we get, you know, we're talking about a plan, but if we get something holistically, maybe a 12-month contract or a plan in place so that as we're moving money around and talking about the budget, I think, well, I know for me, I would definitely support that. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilman Brazil. Any other comments on this discussion? All right, let's mark that as discussion item 46 handled. That also concludes our public comments. Let's move on. Clerk, consent agenda. Good?
It's not good.
Mike's out over there. All right.
All matters listed under the consent agenda are considered to be routine by the City Council and will be enacted by one motion in the form listed below. There will be no separate discussion of these items. If discussion is desired, that item will be removed from the consent agenda and considered separately.
So moved.
Second.
All right, it's been moved and properly seconded on this item. Any questions or any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor? All right, item carries unanimously. Next we have claims.
Order approving claims appearing at pages 079 to inclusive thereon on the municipal docket of claims in the amount of $2,516,674.90 for and make an appropriation for the payment thereof.
So moved.
Second.
It's been moved and properly second on this item. First, colleagues, we have an amendment. I'm sorry, thank you. We have an amendment to claims, is that correct?
That is correct.
All
Sharon
right.
Timms.
Go ahead, state your amendment.
Sharon Timms, Deputy Director of Administration. We want to amend for Fordyce the invoice that Mr. Foote asked us about. We have found that and got that worked out now. So we would like to amend the claims docket for $27,828.74 to include that payment.
So moved.
Second. All right, it's been moved and properly second that we make the amendment as you said. Yes, sir. Councilman Stokes?
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Mr. James, could you repeat again what the amendment is and the payment is to whom?
It's to,
Do we have a copy of it?
I want to make sure I get the contractor right.
If Ms. Timms, if you can, as you state the amount, go ahead and also just state for the record and for the note, for the knowledge of the public, what was fixed with this or what was done.
This is for Fordyce Construction Company for McRaven Road bridge replacement.
Do we have a copy of it?
Thank you. Yes, Vice President Lee?
Sharon, has the work been done?
Yes, this is just a final payout. We were trying to, there was some back and forth with what was owed, and we,
Thank you.
All right, any other questions or comments on this
How much,
amendment?
how much total are we looking at, Ms. Timms?
She said $27,828.74. Is that correct?
yes,
So we've already paid on what, the total amount here was $233,000?
correct.
I'm sorry.
I think this is the retainage, is what we're paying out now. No,
It's what? I can't.
Terry.
No, it's the legal
Attorney Williams,
standards.
if you state your name for the record.
Terry Williamson, Office of the City Attorney. There was some issue about pay application number 3. This is the pay application number 3. The council already approved pay application number 4 and final. So this is just to get this paid.
Once this is paid, it's completely over at this point?
Yes.
Everything is paid?
Yeah, the
completely?
project's complete. It's just, all that's left is making this payment.
You know, Mr. President, I have a bridge out on Martin Luther King, so I support having these bridges repaired, but I'm concerned about this just, I know it's nothing illegal, but
So just to
a memo
clarify,
would help a lot of times.
yeah, no, I hear you, Councilman Stokes. Just to clarify, there's been no change orders or nothing on this, correct?
On this particular project, the city council previously approved change order number 1, which was to take care of some additional pilings, I think, that had to be done, and approved change order number 2, which had to do with some delays because of Entergy having to come out and relocate the power lines so that they could start construction. So there were 2 change orders on this project.
All right, there were 2.
They've been approved by the city council.
All right, and all has been approved by this body. All right, any other questions or comments on this? All right, I don't know if we voted. We haven't taken a vote on this amendment. All right, all in favor of adding this? Opposed?
Opposed, Mr. President.
Yeah, all right. Item has been added to the agenda. Colleagues, we have a recommendation from legal. Last council meeting, Councilman Stokes, there was an item that came before us that dealt with the fees for tow trucks, or the towing. And one of the things that, Councilman, you brought up was actually your item, which was an order of the City Council setting that fee, I believe, to a $75 amount. And one of the reasons that we did not approve it, because if we had an order or ordinance that was standing that had a not to exceed amount and a tow company exceeded that amount, this body was not going to approve it, and so it was removed from claims. Legal has provided me with minutes, and I'll go back to the first one. Tuesday, April 16th, 2019, there was an order of the City Council establishing record service rates for companies that provided record and towing services. With this item, President Priester at that time recognized Councilmember Tillman, and he recommended and said the item be placed in committee. And so right now that item is still in rules and government operation and has not been dealt with. After that, on February 14, 2023, there was an order ratifying and authorizing the City of Jackson to adopt record service rotation agreement. Within that agreement were fees. And I know that that agreement went against the wish of this body, but the wish of this body had not had any action taken on it at that time. So legal has given us two options. One, we can either pay the rector and deal with this in committee later, or two, we could amend the item to reflect what's in committee and give the police department time to renegotiate. All right, and I wanted to state that. Legal, did I state that correctly? Help me out now. I'm not an attorney.
Sandra Moncure, Office of the City Attorney. So to the second recommendation that you made, I just want to remind the council that in order for us to renegotiate the contracts, we have to come back before you, draft an order to cancel the agreements, which they are 3-year agreements when we entered into those. So we would have to cancel those agreements, try to renegotiate at the rates that you proposed in 2019, and hopefully you will have some vendors. I'm not sure how the negotiation process will go. They just executed a contract with the city last year.
All right. Councilman Stokes, did you have? Yeah. I'm sorry. Councilwoman Lee asked to be my first. Yes.
So, Ms. Moncure, so does that mean that we would get a rebate from 2019 to now with all towing companies that charged over $75?
No, ma'am.
All right. Councilman Stokes.
Thank you, Mr. President.
Yes, sir.
Mr. President, the first concern I have is we need to make sure that when legal give this kind of information, they give it to all council members so that we can have time to prepare ourselves for it, because, you know, if you ask me what I ate last week, I couldn't tell you, so I'm surely not going to know what happened in 2019.
Yes, sir.
But I know that some of these companies were overcharging people. They were picking up cars, overcharging people, and consequently for poor people, they were taking their automobile because the people couldn't pay for the storage after these companies have basically hijacked these cars. So what the council is trying to do is make sure that if you're going to tow in this city, that you are not going to overcharge the public. Now, the rotation is a system that was created by this body, but there's no state law that states that there must be a rotation for record service in Jackson. And if some of these companies do not want to charge people a reasonable amount of money, then get them off the rotation system. I don't know what Mr. West is today, but Mr. West was doing a good job with the city of Jackson through the police department and making sure we got this under control. Too many of these companies that's picking up cars in Jackson are bootleggers. They are taking people automobiles. Poor people can't afford to pay the storage fee, and they selling these people cars. So, legal, I know you're saying that the committee didn't meet and those kind of things, but I know most members of the council, they still alive, who was there then, thought we had finished that issue. But if you want to bring an order to us that we can vote on at the next meeting, you can get it to the committee so they can vote it out of committee so we can vote on, then let's do it. But let's not give a green light to some of these crooked record companies that's taking people automobiles. We need to stop that practice yesterday. Thank you.
All right, Councilman Griselle.
Thank you. As you know, I'm chair of the Rules Committee, and it was my prayer that we will have a meeting Monday to address this issue in the committee, and hopefully we can vote this out. But I would like to hear from legal in terms of, once this gets voted out, how does this impact us retroactively because these bills have already been submitted?
It doesn't. You all approved the 2023 agreement. It's in the minutes. The council speak through their minutes, so I think you have to honor what you all approved.
So
and
once,
I think there's no remedy.
okay, so just to be clear, because it is close to my bedtime, after we voted out and the order says $75 is our cap, we can go back and readdress these invoices. That's what I'm trying to be clear about.
It would go forward. Once you voted out a rules committee, then it would apply for everything that comes after your vote.
Yes.
It does not respond retroactively.
Thank you.
Go ahead.
No, Councilwoman Lee, I'll yield to her.
And so what happens to the 3-year contracts that we're currently in? We'll have to renegotiate and then start.
We have to start all over. But I do want you to take into consideration the operation of JPD, because once we terminate those agreements, we have to try to renegotiate with these companies, and we can set the rates, but that don't mean they're going to want to do business with the city. So I want you all to keep that in mind.
Thank you.
Councilman.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I want to caution that we don't negotiate in public. So we
Here's the concern. The concern is we have someone that's been on the council for a while, and his recollection is even before 2019, there were fees set way before this. Part might have been when I was in high school. No, I'm just playing. But there were fees set. And so the question to the body is, in the intention of the city council, and I'm not saying, but I just want to just lay it out, in the intention of the city council to set a cap, did JPD put up an order for us to agree to while we had something that was either in committee or something that had already passed that spoke to that's way prior to this? Yeah. And so Councilman Stokes is asking for more research. And so the thing is, if there's a standing cap that is set by this body, no department can go beyond that. And that's what we want to ensure.
Okay. Well, I think that legal is certainly up to the task of going deeper into their research, and their effort here was to make sure that we're operating, in accordance with how the minutes have spoken. I do want to say, Councilman Stokes, this was passed out, not in an effort to blindside you. This was discussed yesterday in work session, and that's when they presented the research to everybody that they found. Secondly, I want to be clear, because I don't want us to seem as if we're casting any dispersions on legal about not doing something when, I think everybody's in agreement, right? I have concerns about how record services operate, not only in terms of their rate, not only in terms of where I hear residents complaining, but also the debris. I think we all have issues with the debris that's left over after accidents. I've talked to Chief Wade about that, about ensuring that our officers are being sticklers for what's happening on these accident scenes. But in terms of legal's capacity, legal is going to do everything that they can to research it. They're just trying to make sure that they keep us all in the road. No pun intended.
All right. Yes, Councilman Stokes, to Councilman Lee. And then,
Mr. President, I don't know. Again, I come back to Mr. West, because I considered him an expert. Evidently, he's no longer with the City of Jackson Police Department. But what happened, and as I stated earlier, everyone was alive. Councilmember Priestley is still alive, Mr. Tillman and others, so they could speak to this item. What happened is that you had some crooks with record trucks who had got on that rotation list, and they stated that the contract with the city had expired and that they were going to pick up cars and charge people $150 and storage and everything else, and they were doing it. I said then and I say now that you do not have a mandatory city obligation to pick up cars in the city. The city must give you permission. And if you do not want to pick up cars or what the city say you max out on, then go to other cities. And that's what some of them doing. Other cities, people losing their cars and everything else because it's a big old con game. They pick up your car, charge you so much money you can't afford to get your car back. Then they put it in storage, and next thing you know, your car gone forever. Mr. West, I think is still alive, but there's too many people alive who can tell you what's going on, what happened with this, so we can charge people a price that will not bust the bank. And if some of these companies do not want to pick up, we have enough companies who will. And that's the only thing we're saying. Don't treat the people of this city because they're poor like they're nobodies. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Vice President Lee.
I'd like to make a motion to add the towing payments that we pulled from claims at the previous council meeting and add them to the docket.
Well, it's actually already in there.
Okay.
What I'm doing is making the council aware of what's in there since there was some discussion about it last time around.
Okay.
Hold on, Mayor.
And we'll address it in Rules Committee coming up.
Mr. Councilman Griselle did agree to try to hold a Rules Committee on Monday to get this out. Hold on, Mayor, before we go to Councilman Hart, he's been patiently waiting.
Yeah, well, if just listen to the discussion, I like to follow the dictates of our legal department. Apparently, they've heard everything, our concerns, and I think it's really important that we add language into whatever document going forward addressing the debris. Also, the unmarked trucks. Some folks, they call, the buddy or whatever, and they have no responsibilities, and they don't ensure that the whole scene is cleaned up. But we got too many bumpers hanging around the corners. We got too much glass debris and other debris. So I'm hoping that legal somehow going forward, we can add that type language into our next documents to make sure that we vote on it and it becomes an ordinance of the City of Jackson.
All right, Mayor.
Yes, just lastly, I think this is a point where we're all in agreement that we want better. And by no ill intent, it was just clearly left in Rules Committee. You do have the option of suspending the rules and trying to vote it up right now, can't you? Can't you get this on the agenda if you wanted to, if you have something that y'all have agreed to?
No, sir. We will have to, according to the Opens Meeting Act, publish the Rules Committee meeting 24 hours, at least 24 hours. And then after that, we will have to have that meeting voted out of committee, then it hits the next agenda. But I wish we could, but we can't. Let me say this, colleagues. This is, and Councilman Stokes, I appreciate your work on this because it's work for the people. I think that this gives us an opportunity, seeing some of the things that are coming up now in discussion, to change this from an order into an ordinance, and to also add language dealing with the debris, and to make this as tight as we can. So if legal, based on the comments tonight, would get with Councilman Stokes and Councilman Griselle to work on those amendments to make this an ordinance, and then I'm sure we get this out of committee to get it back on the next regular council agenda. So again, colleagues, this is already in claims, okay? So now we have claims on the floor as amended. Ms. Timms, if you will go over the large items.
Undisputed consulting legal for $303,841.35. This is attorney fees. This is the city versus Zurich. This is paid from the Fund 223, the hail damage money. Then we have Midtown Partners Incorporated. This is Public Works. This is Fund 120, the HUD Home Grant for $216,303.43. We have the JRA, Jackson Redevelopment. This is for $200,000. It's the loan for JRA on the 5/28/2019 to COJ, the 2011 bond repayment from general fund. And we have Midtown Partners again, Public Works. It's also the Fund 120, the HUD Home Grant. And it's payment request number 1, $162,989.60.
All right, Councilman Foote. Thank you, Mr. President. My question is on the first item for this $303,000 in attorney fees. Is the name of the law firm Undisputed Consulting?
That's how it's put into the system, so that has to be the legal name, because that is what their vendor number is under.
Okay. Thank you.
Any other questions or comments? Yes, sir, Councilman Stokes.
Thank you. Ms. Williams, could I request, we've got this item coming up a little later on the agenda. Mr. President, I'm trying to get the travel for the matter of council. They asked us about travel, and it's just not good to say, I don't know. And I could wait to come on the agenda, but I want to request from Ms. Tim a copy for the last 3 years of travel for council members and the mayor, so that we do not have to say, I don't know, when people ask us questions, and then everyone would have a file that we can speak from versus us guessing. And that's my request from Ms. Timms, and I know she's not the director. I hope she can get it to the director, and I hope that we can make that request now, so that later in the agenda, that item would not have to be discussed again. Thank you.
All right, Mayor.
Yeah, I would ask Councilman Stokes for a little more clarity on his question, because I can say personally, my travel is, they do a public records request on my travel every year. So I don't know that I don't know has ever been the answer. We just provide what the city pays for in terms of what the city pays for. What they found are probably my longest and most expensive trips weren't incurred by the city. So I'm trying to get more clarity what you mean by I don't know.
Just on what the city pays, not in the personal travel from anyone. Whether the media asks us what's the travel, how much have y'all approved, what I'm saying is I don't know. So instead of saying I don't know, I have a copy of what's been paid, and then I can tell them an answer that's backed up by a legal document. We're not asking for personal travel, because the city's not paying that. No taxpayer money is being used for that. We're talking about travel that's taxpayer money is being used for. Thank you.
All right, any other questions or comments? All right, now we have claims on the floor as amended. All in favor of claims? Opposed? All right, item carries 5-2. Payroll?
Order approving gross payroll, including payroll deduction claims number 30324, and making appropriation for the payment thereof.
So moved.
Second.
It's been moved properly second on this item. Any questions or comments? All in favor? All right, item carries unanimously. Now, look, colleagues, as we get into this agenda, we do have several items. I do think it is a good practice to be able to do these meetings every now and then publicly, so, and away from City Hall. Thank you. Away from City Hall and in the evening time to give our people the opportunity to come and to see their city government work, because most of the times we meet at 10 a.m. in the morning. However, this is not the City of Jackson's light bill. This is New Hope's light bill. So I want us to be mindful, because Dr. Young, there is a record
when our first term, Councilwoman Lindsay, when we were at City Hall, what was that, to 2 in the morning?
Oh, yeah.
So that won't be happening. I'm sure Dr. Young gonna make an administrative, pastoral decision
To stay the five.
to do the benediction. All right. So let's go to item 7.
Order ratifying and authorizing the mayor to execute a master services agreement with MGT of America Consultant, LLC, to prepare a cost allocation plan to determine an indirect cost rate for fiscal year 2023, fiscal year 2024, and fiscal year 2025.
So moved.
Second.
It's been moved properly second on this item. Any questions or comments? All in favor? Opposed? All right, item carries 6-1. Next item.
Order authorizing payment to the Jackson Medical Mall Foundation for use of its facility to host the City of Jackson Job and Career Fair Expo on June 6, 2024.
So moved.
Second.
It's been moved and properly second on this item. Any questions or comments? Yes, sir.
Is this the same old expo we do every year?
Toya Martin, HR Director. Yes, it is. We had our first one in 22, and this is our second annual.
And it's normally successful, right? Can you tell the council?
Absolutely. What we're doing here is we're hosting this event. We're going to have the departments there who are having vacancies, and we're going to do on-the-spot interviewing and on-the-spot hiring. So I'm hoping that everybody in here, if you're in need of a job, or if you have family members or friends that's in need of a job, please send them to me on this Thursday at the Medical Mall from 10 to 2.
And the centrally located plus.
City Attorney Office is hired as well. Yeah.
The centrally located plus there's plenty of parking.
Absolutely, it is.
And it's on the bus route.
It's on the bus route. We're going to be in the foyer area, and we're going to do the interviewing in the community room. And the Medical Mall Foundation is waiting that for us.
Thank you, Mr. President.
Councilman Stokes, I appreciate you continuing, because when you started the same old job fair, it didn't sound like you were, quite supporting it the same way. So I appreciate that.
All right. Councilman Hartley.
Yes, first of all, I'd like to thank you for the excellent job you're doing over at Personnel. What are some of the positive outcomes as a result of this?
So we currently have roughly about 30 vacancies citywide within the departments. We're going to have representation from each one of those departments that will be there interviewing for their vacancies. Last year, we filled mostly all of the vacancies that we had there because we had departments, again, that were there. HR was there doing the initial screening, the departments were doing the interviewing, and then we were doing the conditional hiring right then. So we are asking everybody to make sure you dress professional, dress like you're ready to come get a job, because we have jobs available for you, okay?
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Any other questions or comments on this item? Hearing none other, all in favor? All right, item carries unanimously. Next item.
Order authorizing payment to the Society for Human Resource Management, Public Sector Human Resource Association, and Mississippi Association of Personnel Administrators for registration fees to attend a seminar, conference, workshop, certification course, and professional publication fees for all employees in the Department of Human Resources.
So moved.
Second.
It's been moved and properly second on this item. Any questions or comments? Yes, Councilwoman Lee.
Do we know a total amount on this?
So, Councilwoman, this is just so in the event if we want to attend any conferences at any one of these organizations, you're giving us the approval to be able to do that. Currently, we don't have anything available right now that we're looking to attend, but in the event that we do, you're giving us the approval to attend those conferences.
Do you have a budget that you're trying to stay within?
Yes,
or?
I do have a budget. I do have a budget for memberships and fees and also travel.
And will you send us that?
Absolutely.
All right, Mayor.
Yes, Councilwoman Lee, this is just consistent with the rules change that Attorney Tory Martin told us, that each department had to get approval of their travel. And I think that Human Resources is trying to just go forward with that.
Yes, that's what we're doing. We came before you earlier this year to do memberships, but our wonderful Ms. Sandra told us that we had to come before you all if we were trying to attend any conferences. So we're just adding conferences registration fees for any conferences or seminars.
So this is just a blanket that'll cover whatever y'all
Absolutely.
want, and then once you identify a conference, you'll let us know, or how does that work?
So we have a budget that you all approved last year for membership fees, registration fees, and also travel expense. So we're staying within that budget. Finance definitely won't let us go in any trips without that money in our budget. So yes.
Thank you. Do you want that as well, Mr. Stokes?
I'm gonna go talk with her.
Okay.
All right, any other questions or comments? All in favor? All right, item carries unanimously. Next item.
Order rescinding the February 23rd, 2026 resolution of the City Council of Jackson, Mississippi, adopting a citywide retention schedule for the City of Jackson and authorizing the City of Jackson to adhere to the Mississippi Department of Archives and History retention schedule for municipalities as amended from time to time.
Second.
It's been moved and properly second on this item. This was explained to us in work session. Any comments or questions? Any questions or comments? All in favor? Item carries unanimously. Next item.
Resolution appointing Mississippi Municipal League 2024 voting delegates for the City of Jackson.
So moved. Second.
It's been moved and properly second on this item.
Council.
We have to go ahead, Mayor.
Yeah, I know that normally I am listed as one of the delegates. I will not be there at the beginning of the conference. I will be arriving late, so I would like us to keep in mind that I won't be there for the start of the conference.
All right, so we would need to have a voting delegate and an alternate. I believe voting day is Tuesday. Colleagues, I won't be there either because at that same time, that is also the time of the National Black Caucus of local elected officials in Chicago. So who is attending? Councilman Griselle, you'll be there.
What date is that? Is that the 25th?
That Tuesday is.
Well, we just had us.
It's the 25th. That's the 25th.
If I'm not being, I'm not.
All right, and so basically whoever the voting delegate is needs to be there during that time slot to go and vote. And if that voting delegate is not available, then the first alternate. Yes, Councilwoman Lee.
I know last year I was a voting delegate. I don't mind doing it again. I will be in Biloxi. So just putting that out there.
Okay.
Correction. I will be there by Tuesday.
All right. So, Mayor, we're going to put your name in the voting delegate spot.
Councilmember Leader.
Thank you.
All right, and then first alternate.
Councilmember Lee.
All right. Is that a recommendation, Councilman Stokes?
Absolutely.
All right, so let's just do this by straw poll so that we can be. Let's just do this by straw poll. All in favor of the mayor being voted delegate? Mayor, you got a unanimous vote.
First one.
All right, all in favor of Council Vice President Lee being the first alternate? All right.
I gave an honorary vote.
Did I get a unanimous vote? Okay, thank you.
All right, I'm filling these names in, VP Lee. All right, so for the record, this document has been amended to enter in Mayor Lumumba as voting delegate and Vice President Lee as first alternate. I need a motion and a second on the floor.
So moved.
Second.
It's been moved and properly second that we amend to add Mayor Chokwe and Lumumba as voting delegate and first alternate Vice President Angelique Lee. All in favor of the amendment? All right, the item is now on the floor as amended. All in favor of this item? All right, item carries unanimously. Thank you, colleagues. Let's go to item 12.
Order authorizing the mayor to execute a personal property auction agreement with Auction 18 LLC to conduct public auctions for the disposal of any lost, stolen, abandoned, or misplaced personal property for the Jackson Police Department.
So moved. Second.
All right, it's been moved 3 times and second once. Any questions or comments?
Just briefly, this is sorely needed by our police department. They're asking for this. This allows them, the proceeds allow them to pay for a number of their needs throughout the year.
All right. Any questions or comments?
Just
yes, sir.
What date would that be on?
We will publish that. This has been long delayed because the former auctioneer that we worked with for many years passed away, and so they were looking for a new auctioneer.
All right. Any other questions or comments? Yes,
just,
sir.
Just if you could, as soon as you
we'll
get that information, get it to us, and we can help put it out there. some folks may be looking for
Well, they're always there.
a vehicle.
So we'll let them know.
All right, Councilman Stokes, you had something?
I was asking, with this automobiles included?
Microphone.
This automobiles included in the property? And debts and everything, the whole gamut?
I know it will be automobiles for certain.
Councilman Stokes, you got your water.
Thank you.
All right, any other questions or comments? All in favor?
Abstain, Mr. President.
All right, we have 6 and 1 abstention. Next item.
Order authorizing the payment to Jones Refrigeration, Inc. for replacement motors, unfreeze the freezer, and a system check for all operations.
So moved.
Second.
It's been moved and properly second on this item. Any questions or comments? Hearing none other, all in favor? Item carries unanimously. Next item.
Order approving payment of invoices for goods and services received by the Jackson Police Department from the Mississippi Forensic Laboratory, DPS Crime Lab.
So moved.
Second.
It's been moved and properly second on this item. Are there any questions or comments? Hearing none other, all in favor? Item carries unanimously. Next item.
Order authorizing the mayor to amend an order formed between the Jackson Police Department and Power DMS Digital Management Software for a renewal subscription term of 12 months.
So moved.
Second.
It's been moved and properly second on this item. Any questions or comments? All in favor?
Abstain, Mr. President.
All right, we have 6 and 1 abstention. Next item.
Order approving payment to past professional services performed by the Mississippi State Fire Academy for the Jackson Fire Department and its firefighters.
So moved.
Second.
It's been moved and properly second on this item. Any questions or comments? All in favor? Item carries unanimously. Next item.
Order approving the payment of the sum of $120.74 to Axiom Geospatial LLC for additional professional services provided to support the upgrading of the City of Jackson's 311 Action Line Software CityWorks.
So moved.
Second.
It's been moved and properly second on this item. Any questions or comments? All in favor?
Question.
Hold your vote.
Sorry, I just want to recognize Ms. Flonzie Brown Wright as you leave. We love
Hey.
you. Thank you for all that you've done for women and everyone in the city.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's give Ms. Wright a hand.
Mr. President.
Hold on, Mr. Stokes had a question, unless you...
Now you.
Okay. All right, come on, Mr. Stokes.
Mr. President, I
Yes,
think
sir.
Ms. Reed was coming forward. Ms. Reed? Now, when you saying the improvements to 311, I think somebody here was earlier speaking about 311. Could you explain what's all going to be improved? And
It's $120. It can't be too much included in it.
yeah, I know, but I want to know what we can improve on it to it.
Miriam Reed, Director of Information Technology. So we are in the process of upgrading 311. It's better. Miriam Reed, Director of Information Technology. We are in the process of upgrading 311. So some of the features that you have, like the online payment, not online payment, online reporting is not functioning right now because we are upgrading right now. For this $120, we were billed for 30 minutes that we went over on our contract. So we've paid the contract already.
It's a bill that we're paying.
Yes, we've already paid $67,000, and now we have been billed for an additional 30 minutes, which is $120. So we had to come back before you to pay the $120.
I guess, you know, the $120 is not as big an issue as whether or not 311 will work properly. That's
Right. The whole system is being upgraded.
Okay.
So you can go online, you can enter your complaints. Also, the system is automated, so you can see how everything is flowing through the system.
Thank you. Thank you.
Councilman Hartley.
And again, I share with my colleague, the issue is not $120, but this is the main gateway of getting constituents' concerns into the city of Jackson for action. And what I want to ask is, you know, some folks say, okay, I tried dialing, matter of fact, I got a call this evening, tried dialing 311, nothing happens, nobody answers. Is that the way we do it, or basically do we tell the people to call 601-960-1111? What's the best way for them to get their concerns?
To dial the 601-960-1111.
Okay, and it's just call 311.
Right.
Because that's still out there.
But I'm not sure if the 311, that number is working, but the 601-960-1111, that is the correct number.
Thank you.
All right. Any other questions? Yes, sir. Councilman Foot.
If you're not sure that 311 is working,
311 is working.
Yes.
The number is 601-960-1111.
No, if I could explain. So apparently 311 only works with certain subscribers, with certain service plans. And so that's why they're giving other people the longer form number. And I'm sure as they work to upgrade 311, we will ensure that no matter your provider, that it will function for your 311. So apparently it does not work across all providers. And so that is the discrepancy there. It is working. There are people who are answering 311 calls all day, every day, whether you dial the long form number or whether you have a particular subscription that allows you to just dial 311.
we know if only some subscribers. We should put that word out that if you're in C Spire, your 311 will work, and if you're in AT&T, it doesn't work, or whatever it is. We ought to inform them if there's certain telecom services that don't work on 311. We ought to let people know that so they won't get frustrated trying to call. Thank you.
Agreed.
All right. Any other questions or comments? All in favor? Item carries unanimously. Listen, colleagues, and then to those that are here attending, it has come to my understanding that there was some confusion between the meetings we had this week, because we had a redistricting meeting on Monday, and I know that story ran on the news, and then from my understanding they also announced that there was a meeting at New Hope. So from my understanding, there were people that came to this meeting thinking it was going to be a public hearing on redistricting. That will be at the end of this month. We do have a date set, but we're polling for that date to make sure the council members can be present, and we will have a public hearing, and the location will either be at Jackson City Hall or the Convention Center. And so we will let you know on that. Thank you so much.
Councilman?
Yes.
Yeah, just a simple request. I know that it's completely y'all's purview. I feel that, having it in this venue has lent itself to a good turnout. If that could be considered, when you decide on the location.
Are you praying to the pastor right now?
Well, I'm sure Pastor Young has no problem. I wasn't offering your church. I'm just saying that the location be a part of the equation of what's considered so that people can be here.
All right. Council Vice President Lee.
I would also just like to announce to Ward 2, we will have our own separate town hall to discuss the redrawing of our lines so that when we go to our public meeting, we will know where everyone stands.
All right. All right. Next item.
Dr.
Young, hold on. Dr. Young, I guess we'll be having a conversation soon. All right. Go ahead, clerk.
Order authorizing the mayor to procure 2 Microsoft project software licenses and execute the quote document furnished by Metric Solutions at an annual subscription cost of $1,320.
So moved.
Second.
It's been moved properly second on this item. Any questions or comments? All in favor? Item carries unanimously. Next item.
Order amending previously approved order to correct the monthly payment amount for the lease of 50 golf carts from Yamaha Motor Finance Corporation USA. Said monthly payment should total $3,483.50, and giving the mayor authority to execute an amended equipment schedule reflecting the above changes.
So moved.
Second.
It's been moved properly second on this item. Any questions or comments?
Question.
Yes, sir. Councilman Stokes. He's out. He's back there.
Salam alaikum, Dr. Muhammad. In terms of the golf carts, how many do we own versus how many are we currently leasing? We own 10.
Yes, sir. Microphone. Yeah, come on closer.
How many total? We own 10. How many total do we have?
This guy.
How many total do we have?
We have a total of 60.
60.
Yes, sir. 10 we own and
50 we
that
lease. I don't know why I thought we had more than that. Did we?
No, sir. We initially were going to lease 65, but after reevaluating our needs and what we had open, we were able to reduce the amount of carts that we were leasing. That's why the amount that we are coming before up here now is less than what it originally was when we first came before council 6-7 months ago.
Okay. What's the update on Grove Park?
I'm sorry?
What's the update on Grove Park?
It's still a work in progress, sir.
Still got burglaries and other things taking place over there?
No, sir, not as much as it once was, simply because what was in the building at the particular time is all gone now. But everything else is still just being maintained as it is. So we're not having as much activity as we once did at one time.
I talked to some people from CMNI. There's a plan to try to reopen CMNI. I know that's going to help.
Yes, sir. We do have, we're in talks with administration as well as some other organizations to where we're looking at repurposing Grove Park. It's not just going to go dormant or anything of that nature. You're talking about the golf course in itself. So there's some ideas that we have on the table where the golf course itself will be in use and how we repurpose that to put it in use. But as of right now, it's not currently in use for what was designed for at this point.
Finally, I had a conversation with Operation Shoestring about Mary Jones Center swimming pool. Have you had a conversation with them as of today?
No, sir, I have not. Being a soldier, I was following orders from the last council meeting. You said you would get back with me and let me know who to talk to at that time.
I talked because I had talked to him, and I think he wanted to talk to some churches and some other organizations around that area.
Well, we stand at the ready to have that conversation and see how we can.
Thank you.
Better
Thank you,
form
Mr.
that
President.
partnership.
All right, thank
Councilman.
you. Yes.
Yeah, just since the question of Grove Park came up, the administration does intend to put a proposal for Grove Park forward for a significant investment. We'd like to invest about $2 million into Grove Park, whether that be the baseball fields or we'll let our Parks and Rec director lead the charge in terms of what that looks like.
Yes, sir.
So.
Any other questions, comments? All in favor? Item carries unanimously. Next item.
Order authorizing ratification of past professional services and approving payment to Fisher Fire Extinguisher Service for providing required yearly fire extinguishing inspection services for city community centers.
So moved.
Second.
It's been moved properly second on this item. Any questions or comments? Yes, Councilwoman Lee.
This is kind of off topic, Dr. Muhammad, but I do want to talk with Chief Owens. Are we still doing our yearly checkups of our fire hydrants?
Not at this time. We're not. We've been in conversation with Jackson Water, and they're going to let us know if and when we can start checking the fire hydrants again, but not at this time.
So at this time, is Jackson Water maintaining our fire hydrants?
They're supposed to be.
Thank you.
All right. Any other questions or comments? Yeah. All in favor? All right. Item carries. That was unanimous?
Yes.
All right. Next item.
Order authorizing the mayor to execute an agreement with the Grove Park Junior Golf Clinic, Inc. for the use of city-owned Pete Brown Golf Facility located at 3200 Woodrow Wilson Drive.
So moved.
Second.
It's been moved properly second on this item. Any questions or comments?
Question.
Yes, sir. Councilman Stokes.
Dr. Muhammad, is this free of charge?
Yes, sir.
Can you explain to the public what you're doing with this program?
Yes, sir. This is a program that the Grove Park Junior Golf has been partnering with the city of Jackson for quite some time now. And what we have done in the past and what we plan to continue to do is offer the golf course for them to teach youth
golf and the science of golf, the practicing of golf and everything, and we wanted to make it free of charge to be able to do so, to not only just to be able to offer just the sporting of golf, but to give our youth more activities to be involved in, and for the city to be able to offer it for free to be able to do so. So this is an ongoing program we've been doing for quite some time.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
All right. Any other questions or comments? All in favor? Item carries unanimously. Next item.
Order requesting approval of future professional services from and payments to People's Place Enterprise LLC for tree limb and related debris removal and/or stump grinding for the Parks and Recreation Department.
So moved.
Second.
It's been moved properly second on this item. Yes, Councilwoman Lee.
Dr. Muhammad, have you identified which parks that you're going to address? And I want to know if Manhattan Park is one of them. I drove by there and it seems a little unsightly after the recent storms.
Yes, ma'am. The purpose of this is to, for that very reason, to have it already voted on by council and hopefully approved, so that when we experience these type of storms that we're going through, we don't have to wait to identify a contractor, then put the proposal together and come for council to get it approved while the debris still lies. This will allow you to go ahead and say that we're authorized to go ahead and move after the storm takes place, and we can address wherever those issues are. So whatever parks, whatever that the city is responsible for, we can go ahead and activate this company to take care of it.
Do we need to identify the parks and let you know, or you'll just drive around, or how will you know which ones that you'll go to?
No, ma'am. You can save on your gas. We'll handle that.
Okay. And then my last question is People's Place Enterprise LLC.
Yes, ma'am.
Is that located in Ward 2?
The company in itself?
Yes.
I don't know for actual facts, but I will look to find out.
I want you to identify if they're off of 49, because I have a problem if they are, not on this particular item, but the way they upkeep their property is unsightly for my Pocahontas Heights area. I want to make sure I want to see if it's that area, if that's the same vendor.
Councilman Foot, and then Councilwoman Lindsay.
Thank you.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
Dr. Muhammad, my question is about, do you have a tree count for how many trees the city lost in all the different parks we've got?
Yes, sir. We currently have 53 trees down as we speak.
Okay. Thank you.
Yes,
All
sir.
right, Councilwoman Lindsay.
Thank you, Mr. President. Mr. Muhammad, the other crisis that I think we also have in our parks and on our public right-of-way was caused by a totally different weather event, and that was the drought. And so we've got all these dead trees that are also incredibly dangerous and a hazard. Will this also allow you to address the removal of the dead trees?
Yes, ma'am. It's not just for whenever we have any type of inclement type of weather. This will be to address any tree that need to be removed where they pose a danger to people or property. So yes, ma'am, this will just open it to be able to do so.
Thank you. We have a lot, I just want to say we have a lot of dead trees in Ward 7 parks.
Yes,
so
ma'am.
thank you. I
Thank
appreciate
you.
it.
All right, any other question or comment? Yes, Mayor.
Yeah, we discussed this in part yesterday too, and looking at, because we've had multiple storms and I already declared an emergency past storm. I don't know what we want to consider today yet. I hadn't seen what today has left, but trying to find some funds that can help people with debris removal. I do want to point this out to residents because we've received a number of phone calls, and a lot of those phone calls have been down trees actually on private property. The city of Jackson cannot, pick up a tree on private property. You will have to get your own private contractor to do that. We can work on if it's put on the curb that we help pick that up, but we cannot get the tree on your private property. Thank you.
All right, any other questions or comments? Yes, sir, Councilman Stokes.
Doctor, how much do you have budgeted for this situation?
$25,000.
Now, I know you're going to need a whole lot more than that.
Yes, sir. It's going to require me to sing at night and do some other things to raise some money.
Have you identified?
Mr. Malvin,
Yes,
Mr. Malvin Becker is looking to identify funds because of.
What's the overall goal they're trying to?
I will not speak out of turn. that will align based on, what we're assessing the damage to be.
Yes, sir.
and those costs. So I'm not going to speak out of turn and just throw a number out there, but it'll be far more than $25,000.
Yeah, I think you told Councilmember Lindsay that you're talking about, about 50 trees?
53.
Yeah,
And
normally they're
before
about
this-
5,000 a tree.
Depending upon the size and how much it needs to be removed. But blessedly, we have some good vendors here in the city of Jackson that understand some of the challenges that we face, and they want to work with the administration as well. So we have built a great relationship. So where it may be costly in some aspects, we've been able, because of the relationship, get it reduced some. But yes, we will be looking at, along with Public Works, how we can combine necessarily to address not only the tree issue, but the pine trees and so on that are dying from the pine beetles and so on that goes with that.
Thank you, sir.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
All right, any other questions or comments? All in favor? Opposed?
I think I'm voting for it, Mr. President.
Thank you, voting for it.
I had to think about it. I had to pray about that.
Did you pray?
Yeah, whatever.
Okay. All right, so that's 7-0. All right, unanimous. Since we
Thank you,
talked
guys.
about the storm and the trees, let's talk about some creeks. Let's go to item, what item is that?
39.
Item 39.
Order authorizing the mayor to execute a professional service agreement with City Collective US LLC for master planning services for Eubank Creek.
So moved.
It's been moved and properly second on this item. Any questions or comments? Yes, Mayor, did you have a question?
Just briefly, and I'm sure Councilwoman, I can yield to Councilwoman Lindsay.
Yes, sir. Mr. Banks, I just want to thank you for allowing so much time to discuss this in work session. Yesterday, we did have a very good conversation about that. Dr. Scott Crawford couldn't be at this location last night, but he was able to give a very sincere plea that we address this with this vote tonight, because I've thought about him a lot tonight, because every time we have heavy rain, his house nearly floods, and he certainly can't get out of it in his wheelchair, because even the water under his house, and the water is inundated even under his house. And so there are several people here from Bondurant. These are state funds. And I just would like to have a show of hands of the people from Bondurant who are here tonight in support of this item. Thank you, Mr. President.
All right, thank you. All right, any other questions or comments?
Mr. Mayor.
Oh, I'm sorry. Mayor.
Yeah, Councilwoman Lee already underscored this, but I want to be clear that this does not come out of the city's budget. If we do not spend these funds, then it will have to be returned to the state. So it's a kind of a no-brainer for us. Additionally, I know that the next step, because this only allows for the engineering evaluation to take place, the next step is to see if we can re-secure the money that was initially provided to the county in order to actually fund the project itself. And we are nearing an end, hopefully, to the bond that we're trying to, or the leveraging that we're trying to do of our utilization for flooding issues across the city. We've already met with IMS about this issue. I understand that they attended a couple of town hall meetings. I think both yours, Councilman Banks, and one that Councilman Stokes put on. And so they're gearing up. They're ready to roll. We're just waiting for the bond to close. And I get calls from residents every time there's a heavy rain. Unfortunately, there's nothing we can do in the moment of the rain, right? We have to prepare for a war at time of peace. And so that's when we're going to have to do this work.
Mr. Banks, I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
Mr. Banks, just quick.
Yes.
I too have met with IMS, and they have this information as well regarding Eubanks Creek. And also, Mr. Mayor, yesterday I believe you mentioned that there could possibly be some federal dollars coming for this project as well, right?
Yeah, $2 million. Yes.
Thank you.
Councilman Hart.
Yes, Mr. Mayor, I think, and I applaud my colleague for getting funding from the governor's office. I'm wondering, is there a way that we can follow suit and get funding for some other creeks? We have real issues. Again, it's addressing to the mayor. There are real issues in a lot of our wards, and we can't just float bond money we have to do regular maintenance on these creeks before they get out of hand. And I'm wondering, what is the status of our maintenance program towards removing the debris, getting the trees out, and so forth? Because you're right, when it rains, people worry.
Yeah.
So you're right also in saying that, hey, we should prepare for war in time of peace. And part of that is to do regular maintenance so it doesn't get out of hand. So
these creeks are beyond the regular maintenance point of view, and that's why we're trying to do the significant work with leveraging the bond so that we can get to a position that it could be maintained through regular maintenance. The fortunate thing about the bond is that we're still leaving significant pay-go out of the utilization fund so that we can continue to fund the work that needs to maintain our stormwater system going forward. So there will be significant dollars still available from the roughly $10 million that we receive annually. I think that it's estimated that this will only consume about $4 million. So we'll still have $6 million annually that we can do the regular upkeep. But unfortunately, that has not been what we've done over the last several years, and so we have to get to a position that we can do that. Simultaneously, we are looking for federal funds. We've gone after, I'm trying to think of what the particular division that we had to go through. We've made application for federal funds in order to deal with a multitude of issues. Not only has your colleague been successful, Tougaloo College has worked in partnership. They've been successful in securing funds. So we've put in application as well, and we're going to go after every single dollar, whether that's state, federal, or private. We're going to look under every rock.
Maybe the government might have some few dollars for us.
So, yeah, hold on. Let me say this before the question is asked about it. And if everybody did not receive the email, I'll make sure you did get the email. But we have several stormwater and drainage improvement appropriations that did get in and meet the timeline due to the hard work of Senator Roger Wicker and Congressman Benny Thompson and, of course, Michael Stroud, who was with Ice Miller. And so that's Midtown, that's Monument Street drainage, that's Queen Area drainage, Mega Evans, Richard Wright Library, Rolling Meadows drainage, Perkle Creek drainage, North Point, Circulation, U-Base Creek, and Moody's Branch stabilization. So those, check your emails. If you didn't get it, I'll make sure you get it. But those federal requests did get in, and some of you should have gotten those emails already, but they did get in. And I think that the mayor and myself both wrote letters to secure and make sure that we met the deadline. And I was traveling in D.C. to help make sure we met that deadline, Mr. Stokes.
Let me only get a copy.
Check your email.
I'm talking about a copy of the traffic.
I would love to have Lynch Creek to be a part of that.
Lynch Creek is, yeah. Lynch Creek is one of the trips. I'm sorry, because I was reading kind of fast, but yes.
Okay, thank you.
Mr. President?
Yes.
Thank you. Mr. President, Eubanks Creek is a large creek. And I guess my first question deals with the amount of money we've already paid to, thinking Stantec, and now we're going to pay $160,000 to a company out of Atlanta, but we don't have money for construction.
We never had the money for construction. That was given to the county, Councilman Stokes, and because I think there wasn't a shovel-ready project, I believe that the county sent that back to the state. And so doing this work will allow us to have a shovel-ready project that can be funded. Not speaking either pro or against the work of Stantec, what we're going to say is that we had an extensive discussion yesterday about what the firm that has been presented just recently can provide. What they said is distinguishing about what they offer versus what Stantec was looking at. They were looking at just a cut and dry engineered solution to this, maybe widening the channel. And this group is looking at retention ponds and vacant property that can be repurposed for slowing the flow of the water within the area. And I think that that's not only helpful to this area, I think that there are several areas that have narrow channels and they're very, very little land to expand to, and we're going to need to look at more retention ponds.
Now, this is from North State Street to Old Canyon Road.
You're talking about, what are you talking about, the Eubanks Creek?
This part of Eubanks.
That particular part, yes, Councilwoman Lindsay.
The gentleman from Atlanta is here. If you would entertain having him respond to the very.
He's not here.
Oh, he's not here.
Yeah,
I
he's
thought
not.
he was coming. Okay. Can anyone answer the very specific questions, or should we just get a memo to Mr. Stokes about the specifics?
We'll get you a memo, Mr.
That's
Stokes.
about as specific as I can go.
Yeah.
Well, the reason I asked, because this is the same Eubanks Creek in Verdant Addition, and around Fontaine, it's flooding, and they put bricks, but the water is coming downstream, and until they do something in Verdant Addition, it's going to keep flooding the people down below them. So I would hope they'll do a comprehensive examination of Eubanks Creek from the top to the bottom to make sure that what's going to happen down below
That part is
will
in
stop.
that $2 million ask, Councilman Stokes.
Which part?
What you're talking about now?
Yeah.
The $2 million appropriation that's actually in the WICA bill. It's already in there.
I'm talking about for Fontaine Avenue.
All of you basically.
Okay, because it was supposed to be piped and covered.
And I think that we have double coverage on this, Councilman Stokes, not only the money that was appropriated through the earmark, but also IMS is going to be looking at all of these issues. They're going to be looking at how they address the comprehensive stormwater system of the city of Jackson.
Did you have anything?
Mr. Stokes, I really appreciate those questions and those concerns. And because we're having such a bottleneck in pondering and the water's backing up, I think if we can deal with some of these issues downstream, what we saw in Bellhaven is we fixed it downstream, and it actually made a huge difference for all the residents upstream. But my colleague, Mr. Banks, and the mayor are correct that $2 million is going to be used to look at the issues that you are raising tonight. Thank you.
Mr. President?
Yes, sir.
I'm looking at the email now. I'm just, and maybe it's a different one. This is one from Ice Miller, and it doesn't mention anything about Lynch Creek and so forth, so I'm not quite sure which one it's on.
Okay.
But the one I'm looking at, it doesn't mention that. Thank you. Perhaps you can just send it later.
I will. All right. Terry Williamson, were you going to say something or not? All right. Okay. All in favor?
Abstain, Mr. President.
All right. We have six.
Abstain, Mr. President. Abstain.
All right. So 5 in favor and 2 abstentions. All right.
Thank you.
Let's go to item 23.
Order requesting approval and payment for professional transportation services provided by Durham School Services, LP, for the Parks and Recreation Department's Youth Summer Program.
Second.
It's been moved and properly second on this item. Any questions or comments? Yes, Councilwoman Lee.
Dr. Muhammad, I see the trips already outlined. I think they're great. I was seeing that they're going to go to the aquarium. Y'all going to take them to the coast, or?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and I saw that they charge by the hour. So for like with the days that they're going to Spinners, they're going to be gone 8 hours?
Yes, ma'am, but we've already negotiated the price for that to where it wouldn't be as written right there. It's just a fixed rate.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so we'll see some adjustments in the price? Or?
Yes, ma'am, you should.
Okay, thank you.
All right. Any other questions or comments? Hearing none other. All in favor? Item carries unanimously. Next item.
Order accepting the sponsorship of a fireworks display from Downtown Partners, LLC, and approval of future services and ratifications from DJ Walter Hurst, Snap Happy Face Painting, and Extreme Jumpers to host the annual Juneteenth Festival on Tuesday, June 18, 2024 at the Jackson Convention Complex.
Second.
It's been moved and properly second on this item. Any questions or comments?
Yes.
Yes.
Thank you. Dr. Muhammad, why not on the 19th, the original day of Juneteenth?
Yes, sir. We chose the 18th because the 19th is the actual holiday in itself.
Yeah.
So we wanted to provide a festival activity that the people can enjoy and enjoy the day off the next day and reflect with the family what Juneteenth actually means. So come and have a festive day with us and then enjoy the family on the actual day.
Come on,
for that.
Richard. Go ahead.
Yes, sir.
Also known as the city employees want to be off.
We'll pay.
Yes, sir. And if I may, while we're with that very quick, we want to thank the downtown partners who were very instrumental in sponsoring this event, the complete fireworks display, the festivities that's taking place, everything that goes along with that, with the exception of face painting and the space jumps. We're taking care of that, but the whole lion's share is being provided by downtown partners, and we want to thank Mr. John Gomez for his tenure while he was there, and the whole downtown partners crew for sponsoring this event for us.
I echo those sentiments. I'm impressed by that, so I appreciate that. Good work.
Thank you, sir.
All right, colleagues, we have a replacement by legal, right? Who's this replacement? This amendment to 24?
Parks and Rec.
Parks and Rec? I think the amendment includes the Baden Tigers.
Whoa.
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right. So, it's been moved and properly second that we basically amend this with the replacement provided by Parks and Rec. Any other questions or comments on the amendment? All in favor? All right. And College Jesswell, that's adding the Baby Tigers for a price of $200. Just.
So now we're paying more.
No. All right. Now we have the item on the floor as amended. Any other questions or comments? All in favor? Mr. Foote, what say you? Will you?
He voted for it.
Okay. All right. Item carries unanimously. Let's go to item 25.
Order revising the 2023-2024 fiscal year budget for the Department of Parks and Recreation.
So moved.
Second.
It's been moved and properly second on this item. Any questions or comments? All in favor? Item carries unanimously. Next item.
Mr. President, before you get to that, can I please just address the council to the citizens to know they would be proud to know that in working in conjunction with JPD, your Parks and Rec Department along with JPD, we pulled our resources together and we have added 4 additional cameras throughout our parks that is now tied back to the RTCC. And we have already seen a reduction in some of the nefarious activities that was taking place with the installation of that. So I want to thank the council for your voting for allowing us to get the cameras. Thank you, JPD, for the partnership and the collaboration we have. And thank you, citizens, for your patience in working with us as we try to improve. So I just wanted to announce that.
All right. Any other questions or comments? We already voted. All right. Thank you.
Yes,
all right. We got that vote unanimous. Next item.
Order authorizing the mayor to execute the event license agreement with the Capital City Convention Center.
Hold on. I thought it was 28 and 29.
No, we pulled 26 and 27.
It's 26 and 27 this pulled. All right. 26, 27 pulled. All right. Go to 28.
Order authorizing the mayor to expend 2021 Community Development Block Grant funds for facade improvements to small business enterprises in the city of Jackson.
So moved.
Second.
It's moved properly second on this item. Any questions or comments? Yes, sir.
Mr. President, we used some of this grant money before on Terry Road, and every business that we helped are closed. So, do we have some kind of way to get our money back when we give our grants, or do they sign something, or what?
Good evening, Yika Hoover, Economic Development. I cannot speak to what happened previously, but we do our policies and procedures for our grants. What we do is we do not accept those who've already had grants, facade grants or any other grants with the city of Jackson, because we want to make sure that everybody else has the opportunity to. And we also, before we do the facade grant, make sure that they are, they sign a specific term of lease. So they can't, if they only have a 1-year lease, we will not go in and do, the improvements. But if they're there for 5+ years, then we'll do it.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. President.
All right, thank you. Councilwoman Lee.
So, Ms. Hoover, are we going to follow the plan of action from 2021 that was submitted? So we'll be doing the fire station? No?
No, that's not for economic development money.
Okay, so what are we going to be doing? The lead hazard?
No, this is just for a storefront improvement.
Okay, so this is new applicants that will apply?
That's correct.
Okay.
Any other questions or comments?
Mr. Banks?
Yes.
Just for clarity, this is a reimbursement program, right?
That's correct.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions or comments? Yes, sir.
Just as, again, we appreciate using this money for this purposes, especially over my ward. There's a big need to improve the facades of the buildings to help out the buildings owners, period. Mr. Adams Corner, the historic Adams Corner near Jackson State, he needs you guys. And if there's any funding or if there's any further CDBG money that we can go after, I'd say go after it all.
Okay. So the grants coordinator did reach out to Mr. Adams Corner. I'm not sure he made contact, but if you can provide us a contact number for him, we'll definitely reach out.
Give it to you tonight. Thank you.
Any other questions or comments? Hearing another, all in favor? Item carries unanimously. Next item.
Order authorizing the mayor to expend 2022 community block grant funds for facade improvements to small business enterprises in the city of Jackson.
So moved.
Second. It's been moved properly second on this item. Any questions or comments? All in favor? Item carries unanimously. Next item.
Order establishing just compensation, authorizing acquisition of a permanent easement and payment of damages for the Laurel Street and St. Anne Street sewer emergency repair, and authorizing payment to owner grantor Bernard H. Booth IV.
Second.
It's been moved properly second on this item. Any questions or comments? Yes, sir. Councilman Stokes.
Thank you. Mr. I know you handling public works. This item happened before Jackson Water took over sewer.
Jerry Williamson, Office of the City Attorney. This was a sinkhole that occurred. It started probably 5 years ago. And we had made efforts towards getting it repaired, and when we transferred everything to Jackson Water, we just went ahead, since we'd already started the project, this was like the last one of these we were going to finish out.
About how many more cases we have left that had started with the city?
This is it.
This is the last one.
This is the last sewer repair that we're
Okay.
I like to always leave room. This is the last one we
it's
know
the
of.
last one that I'm aware of.
Last one you
that I'm aware of.
All right, thank you.
All right. Any other questions or comments? All in favor? Item carries unanimously. Next item.
Order establishing just compensation and authorizing acquisition of right-of-way for the Medgar Evers Boulevard Race Grant Project, parcel number 405-67, Sylvia Lawson.
So moved.
It's been moved and properly second on this item. Any questions or comments? Yes, sir. Councilman Stokes.
Mr. Wright, I know the next 3 or 4 are going to deal with the Medgar Evers improvement, the $20 million from Congressman Thompson's office. Now, it looks like this is starting at Ridgeway, and it's going toward Freedom Corner. Normally they would start at 5 Points. So what's all included with it? I know we buying the land. They supposed to show the neighborhood rendering. Have you seen a rendering? Do you know what's all has? Well, if you don't, I understand.
Louis Rice, CAO. Councilman, this is only for bus stop, acquiring property for easements to put bus stops along Mega Evans Boulevard. Only two.
Okay.
Yeah,
Bus stops only.
right.
Thank you, Mr. Wright.
You're welcome.
Yeah, colleagues, I want to be mindful. All right. We voted on this. All in favor? All right. Next item.
Order establishing just compensation and authorizing acquisition of right-of-way for the Medgar Evers Boulevard Raised Grant Project, parcel number 408-487, Connie Henderson.
So moved.
Let's move proper second this item. Any questions or comments? All in favor?
Wait a minute, is this bus stops too?
Yeah, every
Yes,
day.
all of it is. All right. All in favor? Unanimous. 7-0. Next item.
Order establishing just compensation and authorizing acquisition of right-of-way for the Medgar Evers Boulevard Raised Grant Project, parcel number 405-57, Arthur L. and Fannie M. Bennett.
So moved.
Let's move proper second this item. Any questions or comments? All in favor? Item carries unanimously. Next item.
Order establishing just compensation and authorizing acquisition of right-of-way for Medgar Evers Boulevard Raised Grant Project, parcel number 408-486, Phoenix 2 Enterprise LLC.
So moved.
Let's move proper second this item. Any questions or comments? All in favor?
Bus stops.
All right. Item carries unanimously. Next item.
Order accepting the bid of Whole Mac Corporation for one Pac Mac Knuckle Boom trash loader and dump body for a total of $252,766.30. Bid number 07208-40224.
So moved.
Second.
All right. You had a lot of motions, but 1 second. All right. All in favor? Item carries unanimously. Next item.
Order authorizing the mayor to execute change order number 2 to the contract of Dickerson and Bowen, Inc. for construction of street resurfacing project phase 1A.
So moved. Second.
Let's move proper second on this item. Any questions or comments?
Question.
Yes, sir. Mr. Stokes.
Mr. Wright.
Yes, sir.
No questions.
All right. These are my bus stops, Mr. Stokes.
All in favor? Item carries unanimously. Next item.
Order authorizing amendment number 1 to the contract with Cook Douglas Farr Lemons Architect Plus Engineers, PA-CDFL, for architecture and engineering services for continued renovation and expansion construction project of the planetarium for the city of Jackson, Mississippi.
Second.
Let's move proper second. All in favor?
I need to make an amendment on this one because this is not for the planetarium. This is for Thalia-Mara Hall.
Okay. It's moved proper second. It's not the planetarium, it's Thalia-Mara Hall. All in favor?
I think the rest of the order is fine, but
Say it again.
the heading is wrong. It should say Thalia-Mara.
All right, so, all right. All right, I got the motion in the second to amend it according to what the city attorney just said. All in favor? All right, we have the item on the floor is amended. All in favor? All right, item carries unanimously. All right, 6 and 1 abstention.
Oh, this on what? 37? I abstain also, Mr. President.
Y'all want to sit together?
No, we just abstained.
Okay, all right. 5 and 2 abstentions. Next item.
Order ratifying procurement of services from certain vendors and authorizing payment to said vendors.
Second.
This will move properly second on this item. Any questions or comments? All in favor? Next item.
Order declaring parcel 420-6 surplus property and authorizing disposal of same to Agape Christian Fellowship Church for development of a church.
So moved.
Second.
It's been moved properly second on this item. Any questions or comments? All in favor? Item carries unanimously. Next item.
Order authorizing the mayor to execute a contract with Francis Ashley to provide administrative support of the Civil Service Commission.
So moved.
All right, it's been moved properly second on this item. Congratulations. All in favor? Item carries unanimously. Next item.
Order authorizing payment of full and final settlement of all claims against the City of Jackson in the matter of Roger and Linda Sue Fuller on behalf of the wrongful death heirs of Stephen K. Fuller versus the City of Jackson, Mississippi, in the Circuit Court of Hinds County, Mississippi, First Judicial District, Civil Action Number 18-257-EFP.
Second.
It's been moved and properly second. We received a memo.
Yeah, I read it. Question though.
Gotta go in executive session?
No, without going to executive session, can we get some of the facts without going to executive session?
Sure. Sheridan Carr, Special Assistant to the City Attorney Litigation Division. This involves a fatal motor vehicle accident involving a city employee and a pedestrian.
Thank you. All right.
All right. All in favor? Item carries unanimously. Next item.
Resolution of the City Council of Jackson, Mississippi in support of the 61st annual observance of the Medgar Wiley Evers homecoming.
So moved.
Second.
It's moved and properly second. Councilman Stokes,
Thank
briefly.
you, Mr. President. Mr. Charles Evers passed some years ago.
Yes, sir.
And I just believe that the celebration of Medgar Evers' homecoming is not as strong as it should be. We must never forget the sacrifice Medgar made. The homecoming is not for his birthday. His birthday is July 2nd. This is during the time when he was assassinated. So we invite everyone to come to the parade. There's other activity they'll have. We stopped the parade at Jones Center to make sure that we have where the people are, so people can truly understand that we want to thank Medgar Evers for giving up his life to give us opportunity that we have today. Thank you.
All right. Thank you. Yes.
Mr. Stokes, when is this event?
It's going to be this Saturday.
This
This Saturday, we start lining up at 11:30, and we're going to start at 12:30.
And the location?
It's going to be at Freedom Corner.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Stokes. Next, all in favor? Item carries unanimously. Next item.
Resolution of the City Council of Jackson, Mississippi, honoring, recognizing, supporting the annual Juneteenth Freedom and Unity Cultural Celebration.
So moved.
Second.
It's been moved and properly second. This item. Councilman Stokes briefly wants to say.
Minister Muhammad did a great job. He said enough about Juneteenth, and we just invite everyone to come to city activities. So many different celebrations.
Absolutely.
We'll just take part in.
Yes, sir. All in favor? Item carries unanimously. Next item.
Resolution of the City Council of Jackson, Mississippi, recognizing and supporting the celebration of Father's Day 2024 on its 100th year.
So moved.
Second.
Let's move and properly second this item.
Great fathers. We just want to thank all these great fathers for being great fathers.
You gonna put some signs on telephone poles?
You know, I will.
I want to see if we're going to get the same energy from our ladies on the council that we all gave for Mother's Day. No,
I'm wondering.
We got you.
No, I just want to join in that resolution. A son holds his father's hand for a short while, but he holds his heart forever. And I just want to be grateful for the legacy of wonderful fathers in my family. Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much, sir. All in favor? Item carries unanimously. Item 46, discussion on cemeteries we already had. Item 47, Mayor Council travel, we already did it because Councilman Stokes going to get a memo. Item 48, pothole repair program. Councilman Hart.
Yes, sir, Mr. President. I think with the time constraints that we under, I would like to move this to the next council agenda because I want step by step in how we're going about our pothole repair program.
All right.
I think it takes some more time to discuss that. Thank you.
Did you want to request the spending according to how we put the budget in as well in the memo?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. Thank you. All right. 49, Councilman Foot.
Yes, sir. I just trying to get some information on the status of the Convention Center RFQ. My understanding was it was supposed to be announced on April 16th or something like that. Sir, can we get some information on that?
He's coming.
What did I say?
Here you go.
Okay.
Good evening, Jai Keaton, Interim Director of Planning. What's your question, Councilman?
What the status of the, I was thinking it was RFQ, it's supposed to be
It's an SOQ.
SOQ, okay. What's the status on it?
So we received 3 respondents, and we have organized a committee to begin to go through those applications or those responses.
Because you got, who's on the committee?
It's about 7 or 8 different people. So Visit Jackson Convention Center, representatives from Visit Jackson, the Convention Center, planning. I can't remember the other 4 or 5, but it's a conglomerate of people on that committee.
Do you have a deadline on when you're going to finish?
I don't. There's other work that we need to do before we finalize this process, but the statement of qualifications is literally people sitting there, for lack of better words, their resumes. So then we'll do pre-development work before we do an official RFP.
Oh, okay. All right, thank you. Yeah.
Yes.
Thank you. Excuse me, before you leave, did the city of Jackson, did the council vote on any of this? Do we have?
No, it's not being brought before a vote yet.
The RFP hadn't even gone out. It's just an SOQ.
Okay. Will there be anything that you would give to the city council?
Once we put out an RFP and we select a vendor, for lack of better words, a developer, then we'll bring that before the council.
Okay. Could we get a copy of the
SOQ statement of qualifications?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right. Any other questions or comments? All right. Item 50 is real simple. I went to Precinct 1 maybe about 2 years ago, and roof was caving in the commander's office. Just a whole lot of mildew, a whole lot of rain that just keep coming in, and those things had not been addressed yet. And you know, those officers that serve South Jackson, we need to really prioritize addressing that. Yes, sir.
Yeah, we intend to address that from the settlement funds that we have. So yeah, so that is on our list.
All right, thank you. All right,
we want to get y'all a new one.
That concludes all the discussion. I just need an aye to show that you received monthly reports of privilege taxes. Aye.
Aye.
All right. Is there anything else to come before this body? Yes, sir.
I know we have to go. Just to wish everyone a happy Father's Day. Remember, fathers are people too. Don't just give them the socks, okay? Let's go all out for them too. Thank you, men, for being the fathers that you standing up to be the fathers that you are. Thank you.
Could we close, Mr. President, in honor of Mr. Jerome Brown, Mr. Franklin Hood III, Little Miss Scarlett B. Thomas, and Master Jonas Lee Pippins?
Yes, we can. We can. I do see that we have some that wanted to make public comments. Unfortunately, we do our public comments at the beginning, and we want to be very lenient when it comes. Well, we want to be very understanding when it comes to New Hope Church. They did lend us this facility to have this meeting. If we were in our own facility, we could make time, but they did give us a timeline. And I really want to thank Dr. Jerry Young for allowing us to bring this meeting to the public. But if for our next meeting, if you would see our clerk of council, she will let you know so that we can.
If it is a constituent service matter, if you could see us on the side, then we can have someone from constituent services notate your issue, okay?
But ladies and gentlemen, I ask if we would just kind of exit as promptly as we can. If there are any news interviews, if we would do that outside, they have to go ahead and lock this church up so that we won't keep the staff here after time. All right? This meeting is adjourned.
Thank you, Mr. Banks.
No problem.